what's happening in the Kashmir Valley. Possibly for the first time, the Kashmir Valley shut down in support and solidarity of the victims against the Pakistan-sponsored attack. Are the Kashmiris also, the Kashmiri Muslims also realizing that Pakistan is no friend of theirs when it wants to as much harm their livelihood, their life? Remember, one Kashmiri, also a local, has been shot dead in this massacre. Kashmir erupting against terror killings. There have been protests in the Jammu region too. We are putting out these visuals from Srinagar. The tourism industry, the trade industry, there are different associations that have come forth to protest and have a shutdown. Remember that tourism is a lifeline of Kashmir in so many ways. There's been an immediate tourist exodus, valley turning jittery. There have been candlelight march also that has happened in support of the victims, of the survivors. This is also significant, remember, because we have had instances where there was support for the terrorists in the past few years. Remember the mob that would come in when the security operations were happening, but this time Kashmiris also coming forth to take a stand. Possibly, at least I hope, that there are, especially from the younger generation, who realize what Pakistan intends to do, and they don't mean well for the Kashmiris as well. Gaurav Sawant and Ashraf Wani continue to be with us. Ashraf, as you join us from Srinagar, wherever you've also been reporting, I can see a shutdown. It is a good step, a heartening, and I hope it only increases. This is the ground report by Ashraf Wani.
After years and months, this kind of picture we are getting from the Lal Chowk on Wednesday morning. Not a single shop is open, not any activity of traffic, not any hustle bustle of the tourists, which we see 24/7 all across the Kashmir Valley, particularly here in the heart of Srinagar city, Lal Chowk. Shops are closed, schools had been closed because all the social groups, religious groups, as well as the different societies of the Kashmir, including the private school association, has supported the Kashmir Band call given by the Mirwais Umar Farooq, as well as the former Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti, PDP President, and other political parties and social activists. After some time, many people from different social and religious organizations are gathering here to protest against this heinous crime of the killing of 27 tourists in Pahalgam on Tuesday afternoon.
So remember that, of course, there are sleeper cells and overground workers, but this is also a reality of Kashmir. This perhaps is reflective of that change, and we hope more and more Kashmiris, Kashmiri Muslims, come forth to protest against the killings of these innocent fellow Indians. Gaurav Sawant and Ashraf Wani joining us. Gaurav, first to you. How do you look at this messaging? I understand they are still far and few, but is this also a reflection of Kashmiris realizing what Pakistan is truly about?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Kashmir had learnt its lessons, but politics of Kashmir at times, kept them away from opening their eyes to the truth. There are two aspects here. One, that very pertinent point you raised, Pooja, that when these calls are made to remove the armed forces from a certain area, remember that is playing to the Pakistani gallery. And you know this, Ashraf knows this, anybody who's covered Kashmir for some time knows this, and you don't have to be in the security forces. The moment you remove an army battalion or a brigade from an area, you create a vacuum. The moment that vacuum is created, terrorists move into that vacuum. Several instances that in South Kashmir, the moment you removed a brigade, that became, whether it's Tral or Pulwama, that entire belt became a hotbed of terror once again. And you had a new breed of terrorists coming up because they got area to operate. When you declared that so-called Ramzan ceasefire, that security forces will not target terrorists in that period, terrorists would taunt security forces because there was a ceasefire. They would move with weapons and there was nothing you could do at times. So would you want that situation once again? When there's a call made, remove AFSPA, you remove the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, the armed forces will not be able to operate and terrorists will operate with impunity because the terror tap is controlled by Pakistan. And when people say remove AFSPA, when people say remove army from a point, remove a picket, they are playing the Pakistani game in India, and we know many are playing the Pakistani game in India. Unfortunately, civilians or security forces personnel who lose their lives and pay a very heavy price.
Remember, government took that chance. It did take that chance. That is the reason that those who've seen Kashmir over the past few years will tell you that the boots on the ground had reduced. Because even the government intended to have that opportunity and chance for Kashmiris and for fellow Indians to be able to have a Kashmir without boots. And then this happens. It's a reminder of how terrorists are using any loophole possible. But there will be, without a doubt, now pressure on the government, on the agencies. Why did this incident happen? And what can be done to avenge the death of our people?